Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, GCW, Till Infinity. This is the show that happened last night on New Year's Eve. I just finished it today. I'm going to go ahead and run down the review of it. As we speak right now, 56 Nights is on Fight Plus. I'll be definitely watching that today or tomorrow and getting a review up afterwards as well. I'm going to do what I can in 2023 to do as many of these Game Changer reviews as I can. They may be within a couple days of the event, but I'm going to try to get them up as quick as I can and definitely do them. I am a big fan of Game Changer Wrestling. It is, to me, probably one of the biggest independent wrestling companies. I know match-wise and show-wise it definitely is. You may not be a fan of deathmatch wrestling, but you also may be a fan of Lucha Libre wrestling. You may be a fan of striking. You may be a fan of different genres of wrestling. That's all covered in Game Changer. There's not a lot of storylines. It's pretty much just kind of best matches kind of deal. But it is a really cool company to follow. Follow them on social media as well as watching their shows. Now that they're on Fight Plus, $4.99 a month gets you the entire library of Game Changer Wrestling. I've watched every show from 2020 through this show and 2022, and there's the best out of 2022 that included everything but this show. None of these matches actually. One of them, the tag title match, got almost to the level of being on that best of, but that's why I'm going to go ahead and do the review now. We had, first match, the East-West Express, a new tag team being formed in Game Changer. Two guys, one from the East Coast, one from the West Coast, very talented. They had matching gear that looked pretty sick. We had Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver teaming up against Wasted Youth, Dyln McKay and Marcus Mather. Two young, uber-talented tag teams. Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne, two guys that I've been following. If you look at the best of, there's a lot of Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver on there. Two of my favorite current wrestlers out there. This was one of those just high-flying match, just spots. Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver, the East-West Express, got the victory. I give it 3.5. Next up, we had, why not bring a title in from another company and put it on your show? NWA Junior Heavyweight Junior Heavyweight title on the line. We had Junior Heavyweight Champion Kerry Morton going up against Jimmy fucking Lloyd. I love when people like Kerry Morton come in to Game Changer, especially at the Showboat. Those fans are fickle. There are two people they booed out of that building last night. Kerry Morton and Blake Christian. Oh, he was egging it up too. You could just see he was kind of like, what the hell you got booing me for? And so, kind of being the heel of it. Jimmy Lloyd. Everybody's heel versus Jimmy Lloyd. He's the face of the company. But yeah, this was a very good match. If you look at Jimmy Lloyd, like, does he look like a junior heavyweight to you? And you look at him compared to Kerry Morton, it's like, they even talked about this. They must have a different rule set for junior heavyweight. But he wasn't that much bigger than Kerry Morton. But it was a good match, though. Kerry Morton looked well. He's one of those guys, as he comes up, he is the son of Ricky Morton, the Rock and Roll Express. He is a young legend, I think he calls himself. But yeah, he is very talented. He's got the ability, it looks like, to do this job and do this well. I give the match 3.25. Kerry Morton retaining his NWA Junior Heavyweight title. Next up, we had Effy versus Blake Christian. Effy, face wherever he goes. Blake Christian only gets booed in Atlantic City in the Showboat. He doesn't get booed on the road, except in the Showboat. They hate him there for some reason. I don't get it. And they didn't even make fun of his haircut. Yeah, he had a bad haircut. But anyway, good match. Effy getting the victory. I ended up giving it 3.25. One thing cool about these Till Infinity shows on New Year's Eve, after the sub-main match, which happens last year, they have the celebration in the ring, all the wrestlers come out, and then they have the main event, which goes on next year. So technically the main event is part of 2023, and when I did my best of 2022, the main event of the previous year Till Infinity was on this year's. It wasn't one of the matches, but it could have been. But I actually separated on my sheets. I have different sheets where I keep track of all the matches, and then so far in 2023 I've watched one match. But I've watched this card. So yeah, But yeah, we had Leon Slater. He's been on several Game Changer shows previously over in the UK. Very talented. He's a lot like Nick Wayne. Young, talented, just eager to go out there and show what he can do. Going up against the gatekeeper, Tony Deppen. This was another one of those good little matches. Just kind of like enjoyable, 10-15 minute match. Tony Deppen get the victory. I give it 3 1/4, 3 1/2. I mean, it was kind of right there in the middle, mid threes. Nice little match. And then we had Nick Gage come out, the champion, the god of this shit. Come out and kind of talk about it. Then Maki Itoh come out. She wants to be part of the gang, Nick Gage's gang member right here. And so just her and Nick Gage going back and forth is hilarious. If you've not seen that, that's worth watching itself. Nick Gage told Maki Itoh if she wins, she can be part of his gang. And she goes out there versus Allie, Katch. Great match. Maki Itoh, so freaking talented. I know she's been in AEW before. But yeah, just that infectious personality that you can't not cheer for kind of deal. She didn't get into victory, so she is part of Nick Gage's gang now. 3 1/4 star match, really good match. Next up, we had match of the night. We had the GCW tag titles on the line. Champion Los Mazisos with Ciclope and Extremo going up against, what do we call this team? Hang on, let me take a look here. Alright, yeah, I didn't have the name of this team here. I didn't write it down. Masha, Slamovich, and AKIRA. 2 deathmatch wrestlers that, and this was a deathmatch. I mean, we got the tables out there. We had doors. We had panes of glass. We have light tubes. I mean, when you just take a stack of light tubes, just grab one and just start, it's just annihilating people. This match was just all over the place. We had the Los Mazisos retain their tag titles. I give it 3 3/4. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Next up, we had an 8-man tag. We had the shitheads of Axton Ray, Rob Shit, Sam Stackhouse, Shane Mercer, going up against 2 members of Second Gear Crew, one called Manders and Mance Warner, adding the Ratty Daddy, the Prince of Deathmatch, Cole Radrick, and Dark Sheik, for a nice little 8-man tag, East versus West. Good match. The team of Second Gear Crew, Dark Sheik, and Cole Radrick got the victory. I give it 3 1/2, about 12 minutes long. Just one of those matches. You just enjoy it, enjoy a tag match every now and again. Next up, we kind of had the wildest match of the night, which is weird because of the 2 people in it. We had 2 Cold Scorpio versus Speedball Mike Bailey. On paper, Speedball Mike Bailey, 2 Cold Scorpio. This is going to be fun and striking. This went as a tour of this showboat. They literally went across the entire showboat, fighting, striking, kicking, hitting, punching, etc., etc., etc. And it was like, really? Did it deliver match quality? Was it watchable? Was it enjoyable? Yeah, it was enjoyable. I love when Mike Bailey's on the card and his wife, Veda Scott, is on commentary. It's hilarious. She's awesome. But yeah, Mike Bailey kicked the living hell out of 2 Cold Scorpio. I think he kicked him back a decade or so. Mike Bailey getting the victory here, 3 1/2 star. Next up, a fairly new guy to Game Changer Wrestling, Willie Mack. He left Impact Wrestling. He's been doing a lot of Game Changer stuff. Going up against Starboy Charlie. Again, another one of those matches. It's worth watching. It's one of those. There's no match on this card that's like, oh, I can't believe that match was on. They all delivered to me. They were all at least 3 1/4 or higher. Most of them were either 3 1/4 or 3 1/2, pretty much, except for one. But it was okay. And because of the point of the card it was, he didn't blame him. But Willie Mack getting a victory over Starboy Charlie, 3 1/2 star. Next up, we just had a little death match right before New Year's. We had John Wayne Murdoch versus Soleil Wreck. John Wayne Murdoch going ahead and getting the victory there in that little death match. Pretty good match. It lasted about 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes right before midnight. A couple spots looked a little rushed. It looks like they unloaded everything on the light tubes. Oh, we got time to kill. Go back, it's like, didn't have a really good flow to it, I guess, because you were kind of anticipating the midnight hour coming up. But John Wayne Murdoch getting the victory there. I give it 3.5. Then we had the in-ring celebration for the New Year's. And then we had Billy Starks and Brogan Finley going against Yokai, Janai Kai, and Yoya. After midnight, everyone had consumed some alcoholic beverages. Billy Starks actually slipped on the outside of the ring. And then Brogan helped her up, so it was all good. Good match. Yokai getting the victory, Janai Kai, Yoya. I give it 2 3/4. It was kind of, I think at that point it was like, you've already kind of, midnight's here. Yeah, let's just get this match over with kind of deal. But it was still good, 2 3/4. So, Till Infinity, the last show of 2022 and the first match of 2023. Stay tuned to our Sports Show. We're going to have more reviews of Game Changer Wrestling here in 2023. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a terrific day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.